Right, so hello and welcome to our Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens film discussion. It's not going to be a review so much because, I don't think we have the credentials to do a review, but it's just going to be what we liked, what we didn't like, what we think we could have done better, and just stuff like that. And just, yeah, hope you guys enjoy. So I'm joined by Wandering Fool. Over webcam is Sleepy Warrior.
Hello.
Give a wave. And I'm aMidknightFalcon. And yeah, thanks for joining us. So, to start off, I'll give my initial impressions of the film. Obviously, I'm a huge Star Wars fan, have been since birth, and, I don't think I've been more excited for this film than anything else, at least recently. Things like The Hobbit and stuff, I enjoyed them to begin with, but I think they were a bit of a letdown, but I don't know what you guys think if you were as hyped for the film as I was.
Oh yeah. I obviously I didn't want to get hyped up. That was like the main thing. But then when that first trailer came out, that was it for me. It was over. I just knew, and then I just got so badly hyped up, and yeah. I don't think I've looked forward to something so much, film-wise especially. Apart from Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings, obviously. But
yeah, but I suppose you're younger then. Now you're like properly mature and stuff.
Yeah.
I think it does make a difference. How about you, Sleepy?
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
I'm glad we added you to this call.
Insightful. I mean, they certainly did those trailers absolutely brilliantly, playing on all the nostalgia from like the previous films, and.
But then I think that's also where they went slightly wrong, trailer-wise.
What, you think they overdid it?
Well, no, the trailers were so good, it did build it up to a point that I don't think it could ever have lived up to. But then a lot of people are disagreeing with that. I mean, it's actually been very well received.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, obviously we're all major Star Wars fans, as you can probably tell.
Yeah, we thought we'd dress up because this is what we wore on the opening night when we actually saw it, so...
Yeah.
Might as well get the mileage out of them since they were quite pricey. There we go. So yeah, let's I suppose let's kick it off with what we actually, I guess, what we like to begin with. I don't know if any of you wants to start.
Well, Sleepy Warrior can do something because he hasn't said anything yet.
So what we did like, well, it was more Star Wars. That's always a good thing. To be honest, I really like the films. There's obviously some things I didn't think was perfect, but overall, I'd say exceeded my expectations. But unlike you two, I think I went in there with lower expectations, like you said, Joe. As much as you wanted to avoid getting hyped up, you did get on the hype train, and you had your expectations through the roof. I mean, it was never going to be the same as the original series, and I knew that, and as such, I went into it as just looking for more Star Wars and expecting it to be something new and something different, which, even though it kept a lot of the same tropes as the original series, it was something different, and I was happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a huge fan of change in regards to the whole Star Wars thing, and the new characters for me, I was really on the fence about them, especially when seeing the trailers. But that was one thing that really they did well, to be fair. Characters Finn, Rey, Kylo Ren, oh my goodness, they're incredible. They really did do well, and I think for me, when I was watching the film, I wanted more of the original feel. I just wanted more Han Solo. But then, as the film went on, I was actually started just to transition into like just loving the new characters. Really, apparently, it really did hit me.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's talk about it. The casting. I think for me was phenomenal. Yeah, like you said, I was a bit on the fence. People like John Boyega and stuff didn't know whether he's going to be any good, or you've seen him like 24 and stuff like that. Obviously, Daisy Ridley, you've never seen her before, didn't know what she was going to be like. But I thought they were just phenomenal in this film.
Yeah.
I think just the level of acting itself was through the roof. They couldn't really have done.
They did really well there. I think that's really going to help, and I think it will also bring in new Star Wars fans, people who haven't seen Star Wars or have seen it in their adult sort of years and not as been as fast as we were. Obviously, we grew up with it, so obviously we just adored it.
Yeah.
But I think with these new actors, I really do think they're going to bring in a lot more fans. Rey and Finn. I like the camaraderie. I think they got it. They got it right.
Hmm.
I really do. I mean, obviously, that's one of the big things with the first.
I gotta
originals.
say, I was totally blown away by Ray and the other guy, Finn.
Yeah.
You know, they carried the film for me. In fact, the part I didn't really like was seeing Han and seeing the original cast.
Yeah.
Seeing them old was obviously, it was difficult. You know, in my mind, they just stayed the same or forever.
Yeah.
In some ways, I wish they'd left them to sort of a more backward role behind the scenes. Like
Yeah, I
Han,
totally
maybe
agree.
he wasn't, you know, he was too much of a main character. There was too much focus on him, and maybe he
Yeah.
didn't deserve it. You know, as much as I love him.
No. He deserved it, but it wasn't needed. Obviously, this is the thing. When I saw that he was going to be in it, and I couldn't believe it. I was so happy that they were going to have more Han Solo, but it actually turned out you didn't need Han Solo in it, and
No.
but that's also you can turn that as a positive in regards to the fact that the new actors, you know, you got Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren, they did so well. You didn't actually need the old characters, and
That's
unfortunately, because of that, you started to. It did kind of ruin Han Solo's role in the film, really, which is a shame because I'm such a massive fan of Han Solo. A hero, he always has been.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, it was less like Han Solo and more like Harrison Ford in a Han Solo costume, pretending to be.
Yeah.
That's
Which is
actually
exactly what it was.
Yeah, but that's actually
But you
that's
could
a
see
good
it,
way. That is a
yeah.
really good way of saying it, actually, because Harrison Ford, when he obviously in Han Solo back in the originals, was just absolutely phenomenal. But then obviously similar time he would do Indiana Jones, and you couldn't even see the difference was incredible. You know, he played both characters so well. There was Indiana Jones. There was Han Solo, but you're right. Yeah, he was more just Harrison Ford. You've got that spot on actually, and that did ruin it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the connection that you, or at least this is me personally. I didn't have the connection to him that I thought I would. You know, seeing him on screen, seeing him in the trailers, you know, instant goosebumps. I thought, oh, brilliant! Yeah, it's Han Solo. That's amazing.
They put the best bit in the trailers of Han Solo, like.
Yeah, agreed. You know, about Chewie, we're home. I mean, when I first saw that, the chills, well, tears actually, chills and tears. Just I couldn't help myself. It was just incredible. And then when he's like talking to Rey about the Force and it's all true and all that. I mean, even thinking of it now, it's giving me. But then in the film, it didn't quite work. I don't know why. I can't really.
There wasn't enough of that. There wasn't enough of Han reminiscing about the past and going, oh, you know, that's the part where he sort of built it up. And you hear like, oh, Han, you know, you're the Han Solo, but you don't really hear anything more about those days. It's more
and
Han.
People like us.
Yeah,
that's what we love. We love the fabled heroes and the stories and what the stories that made them so great, and just people who have revered these people just from the stories. You didn't get enough of that, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Considering it's Han Solo, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah, and I think that was an issue with the film was, I think the pacing didn't even allow any time to sort of have these like dialogues or something. The film was like scene to scene to scene, just action almost non-stop, and I didn't think it left much room for any sort of reminiscing or.
Yeah, I mean they did have a few wasted scenes. I think when we first.
It was slow at parts. The main slow part was with Rey on Jakku. I mean, after that, obviously when they get off the planet, it is quite fast paced, but there was a lot of wasted time in a way with her and BB-8. And at the end of the day, how much like character building can you have with a woman and a droid? The droid can't speak.
True, but I did quite like
as much
that scene. I did like that scene. I loved the whole her being, living in like an AT-AT and all that. I mean, that's just fantastic. That was such a good idea. But you're right. There wasn't enough. There wasn't enough of that. There was too much of her just like getting scrapped from that alien guy and yeah. But anyway, I thought we were meant to be doing positives. All we're doing is saying what's wrong.
That's true. We got a bit off track. Right, so I suppose the acting. Right, we've spoken about Finn and Rey. I think how they sort of interact. I guess the main other one is like Poe Dameron. He's quite an interesting character, meant to be the best pilot and stuff. I thought he was quite
Yeah.
good from what I saw of him.
Okay. I think I've got different views from you guys with Poe. You guys seem to really like him. I was a bit on the other side. I thought there wasn't much about him. You hear he's the best pilot, and yeah, you see him pilot an X-wing. Other than that, there's nothing about him. He's got no character. There's nothing to him. He's not a main. He's not a main character. He's like a wedge.
Yeah, no, well, no, actually, I prefer Wedge. Wedge,
Well, yeah.
Wedge was just the reliable, always there. You could just count on him. He didn't need much of a personality. He was just a good pilot, and he was in it all films.
Yeah,
he was always a good pilot. Poe, what worked for me with Poe was when him and Finn first get in the TIE fighter, they're flying, and there's like that sort of like banter between them.
Yeah,
that really worked. But then Poe afterwards, just not really overly fussed. And I think a lot of people would actually not even recognise that it was him in the X-wing when they come to the rescue.
To be honest, I
that's
didn't.
true.
I didn't really until after. I was like, oh, it was him, was it?
Yeah.
For some reason, when he puts on that helmet, he looks like a completely different person.
Yeah.
And I think...
But I like Poe. Obviously, I love X-wing fights and everything like that. And I think having an awesome pilot like that's cool.
Yeah.
And I suppose. Yeah. No, I did like Poe. I don't necessarily think he's a main character. I mean, you focus on Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren, really, don't you? I mean.
Okay,
Poe's
so
just a nice-
with that in mind, who would you say are the main characters? Because in obviously the originals, you've got Chewbacca, C-3PO, R2, Han, Leia.
But
in the
when
first
you think
one,
about it, there are
in
only
this
three.
one, all you've got is Rey and Finn, and Kylo Ren. 3.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think they...
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
But are they going to follow the same? They're not necessarily going to follow the same formula. There's a new director for the second film, so he's
I
going
think
to
they
have his
are
own...
following the same formula. I mean, think about it.
I'm hoping they
but-
don't, because they haven't got as strong a bond. Finn and Rey, great, but they haven't got the bond that Han and Leia had. And also I don't know. So I hope they don't. I hope they do add a few more people at least, just a few little extras, perhaps. But Rey and Finn are brilliant. I mean, Rey was incredible. She was so good. And again, that leads on to another positive thing about this. The Force was just superb in it. I mean, really did feel it. It was like, it was how it should have been. To be fair, in the originals.
You could feel the Force around you.
Well, yeah, you could.
That
It was
is
more
true.
of a presence. It was more of a presence.
Yeah.
And there were some fantastic scenes with the Force. Well, I mean, you know, they gave you chills, and which is quite incredible with a film that you're watching as an adult. You haven't got that nostalgia, and things like that. And I think that was quite good. There were a lot of scenes where, the Force was incredible.
Yeah.
And I like that. In the originals, it wasn't overly.
I will say, in the originals, there's not really that much use of the Force. I mean,
No, exactly.
Luke pulling the lightsaber out in Hoth, and there's a couple of other occasions, but in this, there's probably more use of the Force than in all of the originals combined.
Yeah, to a point, or at least. Well, no,
Come on.
maybe not.
There's the lightsaber, and when he pushes that Gorgon pig against the wall in Jabba's palace, that's like it.
No. When Luke Skywalker jumps out of the carbonite, and then Vader's like, your skills and stuff they've improved, blah blah blah. You know, he does use it, but it's more the fact.
It was hardly
not as-
magnificent.
Yeah, but it's not even that. It's not even that. The whole lightsaber part in Force Awakens, they make a big effort of the Force. In
So, yeah, I mean, the use of the Force was great to see, especially that sort of battle of, I was going to say wits, but no, wills between her and Kylo, sort of like trying to, not so much force push each other, but sort of like overpower each other with
it was more
mind
just
or
the, sort
something.
of the mind, wasn't it? It's like the mind control thing. 'Cause when she started using it, she found out a bit about him.
Yeah,
didn't
totally.
she? And that was when he soon realised that, actually, she's powerful
Yeah.
than he thought. Because at first, she was just a person that couldn't quite, figure out and couldn't really get into her mind. But then she started pushing back.
Yeah.
You could see. I mean, yeah, moments like that were fantastic. They were. They really, really were.
They were really good. I think it's also the first time the Force has been used to sort of properly get into someone's mind. I know you can, like, obviously persuade someone who's weak-willed or doesn't have a strong mind, but to actually get inside someone is quite incredible to see.
Well, they used more.
Yeah, I see how that came wrong.
Yeah, I was trying to bypass that. You saw a little bit more of the Force, though. I think right at the beginning when you first meet Kylo Ren, and he's like, he stops the blaster shot.
Yeah.
Mid-air, just leaves it there.
Yeah.
Like that hasn't been used. That's very cool. Like Darth Vader obviously just completely blocked them, and they hit his hands and stuff, but he just stopped it, and then he did all that other stuff while it was still there.
Yeah.
So I think the fact that that's just it just adds a little bit more about the Force and how they use it, and he's obviously just experimenting. Really,
that's what I don't understand is how powerful is Kylo Ren and how powerful is Rey. I know this is what everyone's talking about because they obviously have that lightsaber battle, and she effectively, well, she doesn't beat him, but it's pretty much a stalemate. Or she comes out almost on top. She's an untrained Force user who's just found out about the Force. She's never picked up a lightsaber in her life.
Yeah.
How is she possibly able to beat the Sith Lord?
A lot of people have said this about it. They don't like the fact that she beat Kylo Ren because obviously he's used a lightsaber more. He's been in combat and all that. But then back in Jakku, when Finn first sees her, she's like beating the crap out of 3 people with a stick. So what's the difference between a stick, a staff that she's used a lot, and a lightsaber? Basically, a lightsaber is even more powerful.
Well, yeah, but I suppose
lighter, easier to use.
the people she was beating up weren't sort of Sith
No,
masters.
agreed,
though.
but she
then
obviously
again,
knows how to handle
I mean,
herself.
I'm not saying by
Plus-
any means that Kylo Ren's a Sith master or a Sith Lord. He obviously is, and it says in the film he needs to complete his training, but he still had training of Luke Skywalker and this Darth, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then maybe that just shows how powerful she actually is. Maybe she is just super, much more powerful. Or maybe the fact that she was just so angry, who knows. I mean, yeah, they didn't quite explain that, and a lot of people have complained about that. The fact that she did power him in the lightsaber duel. I think, for me, it didn't really bother me. I think,
well, no, because again, one of the things I actually liked about the fight was it wasn't an elegant battle. It was just blind hacking, basically, because I assume neither of them... Obviously, Rey has never had any lightsaber training, and I assume Kylo Ren hasn't had any sort of lightsaber training either. So there's just 2 people really powerful with the Force, just hacking at each other, which, I think they did portray that battle really well. It was, that wasn't an issue for me in the film.
No, it didn't detract from the film. The problem for me is I need to see the film again because by that point I'd half of my mind had shut off through just anger and heartbreak.
Well,
really.
we'll get to that a bit later.
That's what we haven't discussed yet.
No.
Yeah, well...
Bear in mind, this is our first impressions. We've only seen it the once. We're hoping to see it again tomorrow.
And then the next day.
Yeah, possibly again during the week. So, yeah, this is just the first impressions. So maybe our opinions will change after a few watches.
I mean, to be fair, it's been, 4 or 5 days? It's been a few days. Well, obviously, we watched it the midnight premiere on the 15th. So we've had time to sort of reflect, I would say. I think if I'd have done this straight after the film, it wouldn't have been as positive.
We should have really done it. We should have done it straight after because, personally, it's a bit more... I would have had stronger feelings. I've had time to, calm.
Yeah, but then in some ways that's a bad thing, though, because I was very angry when I left. I mean, obviously, there were parts where I still do love the film, but I was so filled with rage after watching it. I really, really was. And for me, that would have ruined any sort of review we did.
Yeah, true.
I've had time to reflect now. Ouch.
I assume it's the best way to go about this now. It's or just what is your overwhelming impression? I would suppose, coming out of the film, I must say I wasn't thrilled. It didn't actually blow me away, and when I was hoping so much that it would, I was hoping it would answer.
Yeah, but
or
this is where we went wrong, though. This is the problem with the hype. Point. But I don't think. I mean, how long has it been? When did Revenge of the Sith come out? 10 years ago?
Yeah,
11 years ago?
It's a long time.
So we haven't had any new Star Wars for a long time. It was going to be impossible for this to really live up to it, I think. But no, I agree, because the cinema we were at actually did applaud at the end, but I didn't feel like applauding.
No.
And yeah,
If
I
I remember
really
right,
wanted
I
to.
was like, shall I or shan't I? Then I looked across to Wondering Fool, and he was like, you dare clap. And
I was still, but that's the problem though. I was still really, really angry. I was so angry. Because of, you know, obvious
Well,
reasons.
I think you wanted dying to talk about it, so let's just.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that. I mean, we're still talking about the positives. Really.
I don't think this has not been.
We've covered the whole spectrum. Let's be honest. We haven't been.
Yeah,
positive.
we've sort of.
You reckon?
It's probably easier just to pick a topic and give our both sides of the
fair
thing
enough.
anyway.
Okay, so the big one.
We all knew it was coming. We all knew it was going to happen. In fact, I think the second you sort of found out that Kylo Ren is and Leia's child or son,
You knew what was coming.
yeah, I thought, oh, well, there we are. It's almost guaranteed that he is actually going to kill his father. At least that's what I thought, because I knew he was going to die, but I was thinking, how is Han Solo actually going to die in this film? And then to find out that he's actually got a son, a Sith son, at that, I thought, oh, there we are then.
Same. I mean, at the end of the day...
worst nightmare.
Yeah, losing a child on the dark side.
Yeah, well, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, when I knew it was going to happen, I had worries that it was going to happen, you know, before we even saw it. I said it would be okay, or I may be able to live through it. I don't know, he sacrificed himself in some epic... Something else happened, just anything but the way it happened. I'm just not happy with the way... it should not have happened like that. Well, I mean, me and Sleepy Warrior actually physically recoiled in horror and shock in the cinema. I mean, it was horrendous to watch. I even though I knew it was coming, it was horrendous to watch. Han Solo for me is just such an incredible character. He's always been my hit. Die like that. Oh no! Like talking about it, it's just.
I don't think it's so much the manner of his death. I just think it was probably a bit too rushed. The whole scene seemed to be... I don't know, it didn't leave you with any... Obviously, it hit me hard, but I didn't actually feel that much from it, though. And those... Because it's Han Solo, you're meant to be absolutely devastated, but it felt more of an abomination to actually see how it happened. I don't know, it's hard to...
no, I agree.
It's hard to put into words.
For me, it didn't feel that strange because it didn't feel like Han Solo. I was just watching, like I said, Harrison Ford get killed as somebody. It didn't feel like Han. Not in the front really. It felt like a weird, twisted dream I was having where Han Solo had just been stabbed.
Yeah. That's true.
That's fair enough. But at the end of the day, it's still Han Solo as the character is now gone from Star Wars. So he will not be in the later.
I'm a big believer in a theory here. I think he's still alive. I'm just putting it out there now.
But a lot of people do. A lot of people have said that, to be fair.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
I mean,
I've looked online for this, and not one person has said it.
Really? Seriously?
I can't
I'm
find
surprised
it
at that.
No, a few people I've spoken to who have seen it, they say it's possible. It is possible.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of theories.
This is the biggest thing with that scene, and this is what was more of a knife in the heart, was the fact, if you're going to kill off such a good character, such an iconic character, give them a funeral. You don't just have them plummet into a everlasting pit. And then
unless they're hoping to bring him back, you never know.
Well, that's the thing.
This is what I'm clinging to.
Do you know why? I don't think they'll bring him back simply because Han Solo does. Sorry, big confused there. Harrison Ford, one and the same, doesn't want to do another Star Wars. He made it pretty clear. He wanted to die in Return of the Jedi, and he's finally got his wish in this film. And I was watching an interview with him on TV the other day, and I could just sense in him he didn't want to. He just wasn't interested.
No, I agree.
And I can't blame him. I mean,
he's
in his 70s, for goodness sake.
Yeah, that's fine. That is true. But I think they still should have dealt with it in a different way. It should have been like an awesome sacrifice, or it should have been done differently.
Yeah,
and you needed time to grieve. Look at let's say Gandalf, Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, where he falls from Bridge of Khazad-dûm, right? Yeah. It happens. He falls. It's quite sudden. No one really expects it. People who don't know the Lord of the Rings story don't know it's going to happen. But he drops, right? They have that awesome slow music, the slow scene when they're all running out, Frodo screaming, Boromir dragging him out, and then they're all outside and stuff, and then they're crying, and you're given the actors and the characters in there have their moments. Also, the viewers are grieving at the same time, and it's horrendous, and everyone's going through the same horrendousness. But at the end of the day, it's just too fast. He drops, Chewbacca surprise. And
I
they just
don't
start
think
shooting stormtroopers.
it's not so
and
much
it's
the speed of. It's not so much the speed. It's more the meaninglessness of it. I don't know what it was meant to be there for. I mean, everything in the film should be there for a reason, and it just didn't serve any purpose in the
Yeah,
plot,
agreed.
emotionally, or you know.
Bulbasaur just.
If I was
Harrison Ford.
J.J. Abrams, I would have done it in the second film, especially as he said he's trying to mirror the original trilogy.
Yeah, but as agreed. But as Bulbasaur just pointed out, Harrison Ford's too expensive.
That's
that could be a
rubbish.
thing.
Well, no,
but Disney might just want all the money. It's true. And at the end of the day, Harrison Ford doesn't really want to do it. I don't think he.
But did he not want to do it? I thought he was very happy to come back.
I'm not too sure. I've seen conflicting.
Do you know what, guys? We've got to get him on the show next week.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine? That would be amazing.
I'll put a call to his agent.
Let's see how well this does.
Close friend of mine, I gotta be honest.
I mean, for me, what I want to do, I want to watch the film again. Well, we are, but I want to watch it knowing it's going to happen, and sort of detaching from that part and just focusing it as a film.
Yeah.
Because I think for me, a lot of it, I was watching the film just dreading the moment to happen, and when it did happen, I was so angry afterwards. I sort of like the end part's a little bit of a blur for me. I've got to be honest.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because I was filled with so much rage.
It didn't help at that point that it was like like 2:30 in the morning or 2:00 in the morning or whatever it was.
Yeah,
true.
But
that doesn't matter. I mean, at the end of the day, it was new Star Wars. Obviously, we're not going to fall asleep or anything. And yeah, we made it. The adrenaline kept us going. I don't.
I'm not as strong as the Force. I'm not as strong as the Force with the Force as you are, Joel.
No, that's true. That's true. Hence why you haven't earned your robes yet.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I just thought if you're gonna kill off someone like that, you have to have at least some sort of grieving period, or at least some sort of funeral thing. When I saw him falling off the bridge into that pit, I actually couldn't believe it because
you don't know, mind. You don't know how much time is going to pass between the first film and the second film. There could be a funeral at the start of the second film, and that would just set the scene. It's still sad.
I think
carry on straight after.
My only theory in regards to, because realistically, J.J. Abrams, I'm not sure I can forgive him for. To be honest, I don't think I can. But I think his only
he's
theory.
He's definitely going to lose sleep over that.
But he should lose sleep. He should lose sleep. I'm sorry, he should. He killed off the most iconic character, one of the most iconic characters, and didn't even do it in a very good way. My only theory is he didn't know how to do it, so he thought, let's just do it so suddenly and so quickly that it's just a shock. And it was a shock. It was a huge shock. In the way it was done, it just wasn't necessarily a shock that it was going.
I think you kind of hit the nail on the head there. The thing is, how can you kill off a character like Harrison Ford, like Han Solo, in the right way? Whichever way you kill him, it's going to be the wrong way, and you would have been like, why is he dead?
Yeah,
you can't kill somebody like that, and people will be happy about it. But then again, they also can't live on forever. You got Obi-Wan.
No, that's the thing. No. I think he made the mistake by bringing him in as a main character too much, basically. Yeah. And because he did that, he had to kill him off.
One other thing is, why was Han Solo? Why did he regress totally and utterly back to being a smuggler? That was the main issue for me, because in my after watching the original trilogy growing up, I always built my own idea of what had happened, and he was with Leia and he lived happily ever after. But then it was quite sad to see that he was basically like an old haggard version of himself as a smuggler, and everything he thought had happened hadn't.
Yeah, I do agree. With that.
It didn't really
totally
fit.
No, it didn't. That's the thing, and I think as a plot point in the film, not so much a plot point, but as a thing, that was one of the things I massively disagreed with was Han Solo's the fact that he's just gone back to smuggling. He's like a 70-year-old smuggler running around with Chewbacca still. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think because I think they wanted that whole them finding the Millennium Falcon again, being able to have the line "Chewie, we're home." I think they desperately wanted that, and you could tell that. And they wanted it for the trailers, and they just wanted it. But it's a shame. I don't mind the fact that they did the whole hunt for the Falcon. That doesn't bother me. It's more the fact that they.
That's one thing. Another question, but why was the Millennium Falcon on Jakku? And at what point did Han lose it? After becoming...
It was stolen, wasn't it? He did explain it. It was stolen by that one guy, and then it was sold to that other guy who was then... Yeah, well, it didn't really make sense. And why is he like... he was like the leader of the rebellion that destroyed the Death Star for the second time. Saved the rebellion. He would be minted. Why is he owing like 50,000 credits to like some people, and 50,000 credits to another gang?
For me,
why did they do that again? There's no need.
What was that? You know, the worst part of the film for me was that scene on when you meet Han and you go onto his big spaceship, whatever that was, and there's the weird Scottish
Alien creatures.
actor.
Yeah.
That just didn't fit at all, and I don't know what he was trying to do. The whole thing was wrong.
It was horrible to watch, actually, because you've just seen Han Solo again, so long, and that scene was great. You know, Chewie, we're home, and I quite like the banter between the two of them. Yeah. Well, him and Finn and Rey and stuff. That was fine. I was quite liking that. It was a little bit difficult to adjust because, like you said, Sleepy Roy, he's old and it's been a long time, sort of. But I was enjoying it until those stupid people got the ship and those aliens were like, what was that?
I don't
know. In my head, like there was a little sinking feeling, and I was like, I'm not liking this. This isn't right. I love it.
yeah, exactly.
You know,
so
it was hard at the time, and I don't know how that got past the cutting room or whatever. You know, it was.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. It shouldn't have been in the film.
It felt more at home, like a deleted scene from Guardians of the Galaxy or something.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
It didn't seem like Star Wars to me. It just didn't fit. Yeah, and that was.
What did you say, aMidknightFalcon? It should have been like little baby rancors that escaped, but then.
Well, yeah. I mean, at least tie something into the universe.
I don't think they needed anything like that. I don't think they needed that scene.
Yeah, but they could have been selling like baby rancors to a hut or something like that. It's something, not the
something more familiar.
The only problem is Han grows over the original trilogy from that smuggler character into somebody that you can respect and that has basically found his place in society with Leia and all that, and then he's just totally regressed back to like a grimy, filthy smuggler, and it doesn't make sense. That's the main issue, isn't?
No, it doesn't.
He is running from these creatures, but why is he doing it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. No, I totally agree.
Yeah, that was a big issue for me. I mean, I got a sense when I first started watching the film that maybe it wasn't going to be as good as I was hoping, but I think that scene sort of really affirmed it for me that this wasn't going to be the film I was really hoping for.
Yeah.
And it might be too early to say, and it might be really cynical to say, but that's just how I felt during the time watching it.
It was very early on that I realised it wasn't quite going to be. It was the moment right at the beginning when the stormtrooper dropships land on the stormtroopers run out, start shooting.
Isn't that literally the first?
It's one on. Yeah, seriously, yeah.
You just had the crawl stopped, and you're like, oh crap.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, it was. As soon as I saw the stormtroopers shooting, and it was it was very fast paced. It wasn't Star Wars combat. Because what I love about the originals is the combat is quite slow. In a way, it's just it's filmed slowly, and you see everything. As soon as I saw all the stormtroopers charging out, shots going off everywhere, and it was very fast paced. That for me, I was like, oh no. But obviously, it improved, and it wasn't like I disliked it. I just knew deep down, I knew it wasn't gonna be what I wanted, and it wasn't. But it was still a fantastic. It was good, like for me, just watching the Millennium Falcon flying again. Oh my goodness! Yeah. I mean. It was beautiful to watch, and with really good effects, and the models they created were fantastic. They built the set. That just seeing the Millennium Falcon again, the cast walking around, characters walking around, it flying around. Oh, it's glorious. I do, however, wish when Rey first started flying it, I wish she hadn't have been crashing it. I think Millennium Falcon is something you don't mess with. Don't crash it. It was like it was like chalk, like fingers being scraped across a chalkboard and like cutlery on like dishes being scraped. It was like everything in my it was horrible to watch. It was horrible to watch. I hated that. No one damages the Millennium Falcon unless it's blaster fire. That's okay.
No, I think something that J.J. Abrams used to love doing, especially when you see it in Star Trek. He loves to batter the ship, or even just blow it up entirely. I think. You almost got the sense he wanted to destroy it in some ways, especially when you see it crashing on the ice planet or whatever. Yeah, the Starkiller base. Yeah, that was hard to watch. Really hard to watch.
I thought it was going to go over the edge. I was like, no, please no. That's the first. Because if you think about it, that's the first time we've ever seen the Millennium Falcon actually crash.
Ever, yeah.
Ever. Normally it always lands on its legs, and it always lands, and you get to see that glorious moment where it's landing and all the steam's coming out of the exhaust and stuff. And the Millennium Falcon is just such a beautiful ship. You don't want to see it crash and scrape across snow.
Yeah.
There was no need for that.
But I suppose if you come just out of hyper light speed, I suppose you probably will crash it slightly. But because that's what happens. Isn't it? They come out of light speed.
Yeah, that's
right
true.
next to the planet, and then
I mean, obviously they did extremely well.
Yeah.
But you know, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
But they still didn't need the crashing part. It would have been nice to come straight out of light speed into a nice smooth landing.
Hey, at least he got into light speed.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
true.
true.
I mean, that was quite good. But again, how do you guys feel about the whole Rey being so familiar with the Falcon? Sort of like fixing it up really easily and all this sort of stuff. A lot of people are saying they didn't like that.
That makes sense. I mean, she was obviously making a living on Jakku, being some sort of savager, and she was getting all the parts from Crash Star Destroyer, so she obviously knew what was what with technological stuff. And
I agree.
That didn't actually. Yeah, that didn't bother me at all. I was fine with that. To be honest, Rey's character, I had literally no problems with.
Do you know what? I wouldn't change a thing about Finn or Rey. I think they're perfect as they are. I can't wait to see. That's one thing I can't wait to see more of them, and also I can't wait to find out who Rey actually is, and because you don't really know much about it. I want to know who she is.
That's the thing, because I always thought it would be Rey that was Han and Leia's daughter.
Yeah, it's same. Well,
but the film made that clear that wasn't the case.
That was where my money was on, and it was quite.
Unless they are some sort of Luke and Leia, like she was taken away. They were twins that were born.
No, how would Leia not know that?
That's the thing. How would she not know?
No, that's
I don't.
The only option is there's two options. Either she's Luke Skywalker's daughter. That's why she was just discarded on that planet because he didn't want to. I don't know. Maybe he disowned her, or was
the theory I've seen online is that basically she's on wherever Luke was doing the Jedi training and received some training when she was really small, and she was the best of his pupils. And when Kylo Ren did some massacring and killed whoever was there and whatever, destroyed the temple, Luke took her with him and placed her on Jakku and has been waiting for her to mature so that she can meet him wherever he is, which is what you see in the film. And that's why they think that R2 being in the corner and powered off, he activates when Rey comes on the ship, because R2 is basically waiting for Rey to arrive so that he can then give the next part of the map, leading her to Luke so that she can complete her training, because Luke's just been waiting for the day where she does. Or the Force guides her to him, basically.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
That is quite cool.
That's actually a very cool theory. I like that theory. I kind of want her to be Skywalker's daughter.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I don't know if you noticed on that final planet, which I think it was actually filmed in Ireland, I think.
Yeah, I think it was.
Which is quite cool. But did you see Luke was standing next to something that looked like a gravestone?
Really?
It looked like a rock that looks. It could be completely wrong, and that would sort of not go with too much with that theory. If he buried like his, I assumed it would be his wife. It would be anything. But yeah, I thought saw.
I don't know what about you guys, but I just can't imagine Luke being with a woman or being.
Well, no, because
unless it's his sister. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You say that though because. From Return of the Jedi, you kind of get that impression from. But then in A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, he's actually very, very much interested in Leia to a point. So it's not like he's not in. He does have feelings, so there's no reason why he wouldn't.
Well, here's one major one. He's a Jedi, so he.
Yeah,
shouldn't...
but I was thinking
that's from the prequels.
But
at the end of the day,
not just that. I think who would have taught him that's part of the Jedi code is to not actually fall in love or to be in love with someone. There's no one there, unless Yoda, I suppose, might have said, slipped it in during his training, like, actually don't get involved.
Maybe he found some of the stolen data tapes.
True. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, obviously, these are all just theories.
Yeah. I don't know. It's I'm very interested to see who she is. I hope they don't sort of mess that up, but I can't see that being, a film spoiler. But
well, we'll see. I mean, realistically, they've had one huge shock this film, which you didn't really get that until Empire Strikes Back in the. So next film is going to. What is going to be the big shock? I mean.
And Lucas always said, I know this is obviously wasn't done by Lucas, but he always said Star Wars is a family drama. It's about a family, a generation who have, it's all about them. So it could be, maybe JJ's carrying on with that. If it is that she's Luke's daughter, then yeah, it could be sort of again carrying on this sort of like family saga thing. I don't know. Quite interesting though.
Yeah, it is. I mean, obviously we could go on about theories all day. At the end of the day, I think for me, the film was good.
Yeah.
I mean, no, actually, the film was really good. The problem for me is if the film wasn't Star Wars, I don't think it would live up to the likes we've had recently, like Guardians of the Galaxy, Interstellar, Martian. In regards to sci-fis, I know obviously they're completely different, and I shouldn't compare them because I really shouldn't. But I think if it wasn't Star Wars. It did lack a certain thing.
Yeah.
I can't quite put my finger.
For me, I need to see it a second time. I mean, one viewing, I can look at it now with different eyes and really take it in a different way. It needs to be watched a second time, and then I'll give a real opinion of what I think.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
I totally agree. I need it.
This is just a very sort of literally thrown together, sort of first impression discussion. We'll hopefully do a much better one after seeing it again, because I think we do need to see it again, fresh in our minds.
Yeah, well, we're going again soon, and we'll probably go through point by point. We can go into a huge amount.
Because I'm still really undecided on this film. I loved parts of it, absolutely loved parts of it, but there were just a lot that I didn't enjoy. And yeah, hopefully we'll go into that a bit more.
I totally agree with Bulbasaur, by the way. I would be like that too. Yeah, no, I'm not carrying on with this. Screw the Jedi training.
Yeah. That's why you'll never be a Jedi.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the film was Star Wars, and it had X-wings fighting TIE fighters. It had the Millennium Falcon. It had Kylo Ren. We haven't discussed Kylo Ren. Like, seriously, Kylo Ren was an incredible character, and I think to step into, to sort of take the place of Darth Vader, who's possibly the most iconic bad guy ever, and is awesome, has an awesome voice, a voice that you can't really copy.
That's true.
And yet Kylo Ren has his own spin on it. He's got a very, I think his voice is fantastic. I loved his tantrums. I think he played him fantastically.
But the great thing about his character is that they sort of worked it into the film as well, that everyone knows he's never going to live up to Darth Vader. How you physically can't do it. But it's sort of like... Yeah, we just dropped.
What's he done?
Sleepy. I'll finish this anyway, but they sort of worked it in that even like him saying, I'll finish what you started, looking at Darth Vader's sort of, burnt husk helmet thing. Yeah. They sort of worked it in that he's trying to aspire to be Darth Vader. And I think both the actor and I think Kylo Ren, they both would love to be better than or trying to aspire to this to Darth Vader. And I think that's really, really clever that they sort of worked it in to his role, that they're trying to aspire to something that almost can't be aspired to.
Yeah,
I think that's
very good point.
Really genius.
Whether they intentionally did that is up for debate, but that's a very good point, and that is the case. And I think his character was superb. I mean, he really was superb. He played him really well, and I'm very much looking forward. The issue is for me, obviously, he committed a heinous crime, and I don't think I can forgive him for that. But it goes to show that he obviously played the character so well that for me to even carry on liking him, bad guy, and carry on just liking him generally after what he did, I think just goes to show he was a superb actor. He played the role fantastically. Kylo Ren was incredible, and I think to do that after having Darth Vader is just, I mean, that's just incredible. He did a good job. There's a lot of pressure on him. I would not like.
No, not at all. That's the thing. I think he was superb. Yeah, and I think I can't wait. Him, Ray, and Finn. You just can't wait to see more of them. And I think now that they've sort of now that Han Solo doesn't have to be included into the film unless he actually is still alive. I think that's just a lot better for the next film. I think going to the next film, we can really delve into the new characters. And...
Yeah, this is the thing. I'm really looking forward to the next film. The first film's the sort of like transition film.
Yeah.
So you've got you had the old characters. It's the introduction to the new characters. Now the new characters have been established. Got some real potential. You know, you've got Rey. What's going to happen to Rey? How powerful is she? Where does she come from? You've got Finn, who at the moment is in a coma of sorts.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen to him? I assume he's. You've got a lot of things to look for.
See if we can try and get. Sleeping over. Sorry about that. You want to put your webcam back on?
No, it's alright. I could. I had mic problems as well. There, everything fell apart all at once.
That's an interesting point. From Bulbasaur. If you read that, that it basically. Well, yeah.
I was thinking it was revealed very early in the film, and I was thinking, yeah, for a big reveal, why isn't that at least towards the end? I think you might actually really be onto something there.
Yeah. Because I think the way it was introduced, I think they were expecting it to be a huge shock, and everyone just to be like, oh! But the way it was introduced, didn't really. Everyone was sort of like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's true.
There wasn't really any. I think either close. I don't know. It's hard to say then, though, because maybe you wouldn't have had the major impact of it because of the way they killed Solo. I think it would have been maybe less of an impact if you didn't know it was.
Yeah.
I kind of just wish there's more rapport between the two, or some sort of more of backstory, or just something.
Well, maybe during that scene when Han calls out Ben, I don't know, maybe, I suppose, but then you can't have another I'm your father scene, can you? It has to know, they have to both know, and Han would have never abandoned him, I assume. Obviously, he sent them kind of off to be trained, but it wasn't so much abandoned. I don't know. You can't have another I'm your father scene, but I think it was.
No, agreed.
Yeah, revealed. I thought the revealing time was a bit off, but it didn't so much. I didn't sort of focus on it too much. But now that you mention it, I think it. Yeah, I'll have to look out for that when I watch it again.
Yeah, it's definitely one thing to point out. That's a really good. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That is quite good, and yeah, that's something to look for. But I mean, I think that whole entire thing, and it's one of my biggest sort of whole. What happened to Han, and also why did he hate Han Solo so much? It wasn't really.
It wasn't that he hated Han. It says he is fighting the light side, like he's inherently good, and he's trying to basically live up to Darth Vader, and he can't do it. And like, I guess his father is a good man, and if you can kill Han, he can sort of sever that tie and join the dark side.
But he also, when he's reading Rey's mind and says something like, "Oh, she wants Han to be the father she never had," and he's like, "You're in for a disappointment" or something. As if Han did something to him when he was a child, or he wasn't the father he should have been. And I think I think there's
obviously been problems with like Han and Leia that we don't know about, because I doubt they've just fallen apart over just Kylo Ren being a Sith. Maybe Han had a harder time adjusting to like the family life than we know, and that's why he's a smuggler again, because he couldn't adjust.
Yeah,
but
possibly.
That's a really good point. Oh my goodness, that would have been so much better. Yeah, if you know when Han says, "I want to see my son's face," imagine if that was the reveal when he's on the bridge and Kylo Ren is.
Yeah, was that meant to be the reveal? That is a really good.
That's a really good point. That should have been the reveal. Why wasn't that the reveal?
But I think again, one of the massive criticisms of the film, from at least from the negative reviews I've seen, that the film really mirrors A New Hope, possibly too much. I mean, almost not scene by scene, but you know.
I mean, that's what I think. That's what they were trying to do with Han's death, was basically recreate Obi-Wan Kenobi dying, and like they said, like you said, with Rey, Han is like a father to Rey, and I just never got that. You have all those great scenes in the original trilogy with Obi-Wan training Luke and stuff. There was nothing like that with Han.
Well, they didn't necessarily. Well, no, they did have a bonding. They did have like bonding session in the cockpit of the Falcon, and I suppose they were.
Not really. It was chaos. Like it was utter chaos.
Yeah, that is true.
No, that's true. That's true. I mean, I love that point. I think him saying "I want to see my son's face" would have been absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
Why on earth was that not the room? Because he shouts Ben, and then people would be like, "Oh, why has he shouted Ben?" And he walks over across the bridge, and then he says, "Take your mask off. I want to see my son's face." That would have been so much better.
After seeing the whole film and then not knowing who Kylo
then,
was.
5 minutes later. Yeah, like the impact on that would have been so much better. What were they thinking?
Yeah,
what were they thinking? That's such a good idea.
Maybe they were just didn't want people to think or say this is literally too similar to.
Yeah, but they had loads of similar points anyway. With like Poe flying through the little trenches. All
the thing is, there's a lot of things in Star Wars that are in lots of films because they're so great. You can't go, oh, we can't use that again, even if it's perfect for it, just because it was in the original trilogy.
Yeah. And let's face it, Star Wars is a little bit of a cliche, and it has got cheesy moments. But I think that really would have nailed it.
I wouldn't have seen it coming.
I wouldn't have seen it coming either.
That's the thing. You could see it coming a mile off in this, and I know that's how they wanted it, but it just it totally killed it.
Because you know that he's his son, and you know that so soon into the film.
I think if we hadn't have known so soon, and then he says it, oh wow, that would have been incredible. Oh, I wish they did that. I wish they did that. I could have almost forgiven that scene, I think, if they did it like that.
Yeah.
Very, very good point. I would love that. Ah, now I'm just going to hate the scene even more now. So I'm just going to be thinking that's what they should have done.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But I think we've been going on. We think we just hit an hour now, so we better actually wrap up the show. Yeah, like we said, this is just the first impressions. We'll be seeing it again tomorrow, fingers crossed, and maybe another time during the week. So we'll have a much better, fully fleshed out video soon, hopefully. But yeah, thanks for everyone for joining and for tuning in, and also thanks for the points you put. They're really good, and yeah, it's been it was a good film, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. So,
ratings out of 10 at the moment.
Oh man, I'll let one of you go first. That's a tough one.
10 out of 10. We'll watch again.
Seriously?
No. No, realistically, I can't rate it. I need to watch it a second time. And Star Wars is such a hard thing to give a number to. I mean, it's hard enough with a normal film anyway, but you can't do it with this. I don't think it's too big a thing.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Well said.
That is fair enough.
Okay, brilliant. No, it was a good film. Yeah, we look forward to watching it.
Right, so I've been a Midnight Falcon.
Wandering Fool.
And the Sleepy Warrior.
Right, thanks everyone for watching. Take care.
May the Force be with you.
Yeah, may the Force be with you.